Hey all, hello and welcome, Tony Bing here. So we now have another beginner's guide video, and for this one we will be having a look at Jean Grey. She really does have some interesting mechanics. The skills you're seeing right now are all from the mental side of things, but she can also take on the Phoenix form where her skills all become about fire and energy damage, and they really do look incredible when she's in that mode. We will show it at the end of the actual video. We'll showcase both the mental and the Phoenix skills anyway. But what we'll cover in order, we'll look at the primary attributes, offensive and defensive traits. We'll then have a look at a few of her costumes, check out the signature and ult, and then we'll finish up by having a look at some of the gameplay run-throughs showcasing the skills. So first up, let's have a look at the primary attributes and the traits. So we start off with the offensive trait, and that would be telekinesis. Now with this, she gains 15% critical hit damage. The archetype is tactician, and that means she gets a bonus to energy and intelligence attributes. So what I would go for, if you're looking to stack an attribute, I would certainly go for intelligence, because that has a crit damage rating multiplier there, so that is really nice. For the defensive trait, we have Phoenix Reborn. So she's got the health regen. When she drops below 35%, the effect on that is tripled, so it would go up to 630 health per second when you need it, so that's pretty nice. The archetype is tough, and we have a defense and deflect rating multiplier as a result of that particular archetype. Now, she doesn't have a special resource, but what she does have is the ability to build up a charge bar, and when it's full she can go into Dark Phoenix mode. We won't really discuss it here. What we'll do is we'll show it off at the end of the video when we're actually doing the gameplay previews. So with the core of her covered there anyway, let's now have a look at some of her costumes. As always, here we look at the default costume first, because this is the one most people have, and this is a Phoenix costume, and it's a work of art. It really is fantastic looking. We then have the 90s X-Men costume. I'm happy to see these costumes get a visual update. I want a raid with full 90s X-Men, that would be great. And we then have what's known as the new X-Men costume. I really do like the style of this a lot. The style of all the other heroes you can see in the actual comic cover as well look absolutely fantastic. So with them covered, let's now have a look at the signature and ultimate. Now before we actually look at the signature, we will look at a skill called Debris Storm. Now the reason I'm putting it in this section of the video is you can see that it has a 45-second cooldown. It also does an absolute ton of damage, and it looks amazing as well. So this is all but in the tag it has, it's actually a second signature she's got, so it's really quite interesting that she has got that, and it's a nice skill there. Let's now look at the actual signature for her. For our main signature, we have a skill called Crushing Telekinesis. Now this will slightly change the damage type based on what actual form you're in, if you're just in the regular mental form or if you go into the energy damage form. So we can see the mental damage one here, looks really nice with all the purple glow around the rubble, and then if we switch over to the actual Phoenix form, we can see all the fire around the rubble as well. So that's really nice, and this particular change in how the skills look applies to a lot of our other skills as well, and we'll see that towards the end of the video as we start to do some gameplay. But let's now have a look at the ultimate skill. For the ultimate then, we have a skill that is a nod to the fact that Jean is in fact an Omega level mutant, so not surprisingly it's called Omega level. With this, you'll fire off a big fiery maelstrom round her. You'll see a phoenix fly out, you've seen that just there, and you also restore 100% of your maximum phoenix force, 100% of your maximum health and spirit, and you also get a buff to your damage rating and defense, and you can also attack while this is active, so it's a really nice ultimate skill. And with that covered, we will now look at some actual gameplay. So we'll start off with the Shocker Terminal and our mental skills, and then we'll finish up with Kingpin's Warehouse showing off the Phoenix form. First set of skills we look at then will all be the mental side of things. Now our main spender that we're firing off at the moment, that is Telekinetic Throw, and this will actually auto track the enemy, and it really does look great, the big chunks of rubble that she's pulling up. We then have Psychic Maelstrom. Now that's a nice dot, and it also stuns the enemy, and you can have up to 2 of them active at a time. We then have Telekinetic Slam. That's a great one. You could see the slam and the maelstrom going off there. With the Telekinetic Slam, it lifts up the enemy slams them down, not surprisingly, and you gain bonus damage based on your actual intelligence. You then have Tactical Destruction, so this has got a 100% critical hit and brutal strike chance, and with this you call in a vehicle and then you blow it up with your mine, so it's very similar to what actually happens in the last beginner's guide video we done with Cyclops, where he calls in Jean and she does the very same move there. We then have something a bit different, and this is Telepathic Illusion. So what she'll do is she'll summon a telepathic version of one of the X-Men, and it actually varies. I've sometimes seen Beast, or I've seen Wolverine, or I've even seen Angel, and through talents that we're using you can get a large damage dot round the actual illusion as well, so it's great. The enemies will be attracted towards the illusion, and then you have the damage dot as well, so it's a really nice skill there. And finally, we'll show this off when we're actually going up against Shocker here. We have Expel Phoenix Force now. When we actually use this, we enter the psionic avatar form, and as you can see on screen now, it really does look pretty amazing. Well, saying that, wait till you see the Phoenix form version, that probably looks even better. But with this, you will have various bonuses to your damage and your defense while you're in that form there, so it takes a while to build up. You do want to keep it for bosses, but it really is quite nice. But let's fire off all the skills together now. There's a signature there, we've already covered that earlier in the video. You can see the maelstrom on him there, stun him, and that's him done. So that was nice and easy there. Let's now have a look at the Phoenix form side of things, and these skills really do look pretty insane, so this will be good. And here we go for the showcase of the Phoenix form. Now, as you can see already, the actual visuals really do look amazing. They look fantastic, the flaming wings, I like that a lot. Now, skill wise, we start off with the main spender, and that would be Psychic Hammer. Now with this one, it's actually got an area tag, so if you're trying to build a full area build, this can be useful. We then have Neural Network, and with this particular skill it puts a dot on the enemy. You see a little kind of orange bubble above them, and if you defeat them while that dot is active, then you have an energy burst that will hurt other enemies as well, so it's quite nice. You can see a little bubble there on them, and they're going down, and then you're getting a little explosion as well. And then we have Psychokinetic Implosion, and with this one you'll pull all enemies towards you and do damage. So if you're in Midtown, for example, and there's lots of bosses, this can be really nice. It groups them all together so everyone can then start to whittle them down with the area of effect skills. So I really do like skills like this. Now, next one anyway, we look at Psychokinetic Barrier, and with this you project a burst of telekinetic energy that knocks back enemies, and it also weakens them as well there. And then we have a skill that we looked at on the mental side of things, but in Phoenix form it's changed, and we've got it as it's a cooldown now, and it's Telekinetic Throw. So with this you'll fire out, let's see what it's actually called, launch a flurry of raptors that decimate all enemies in your path there. So they look really quite nice, and they will also pierce enemies. And finishing up, the skill we've just activated looks amazing. You would think that was a signature or an ultimate, but it's not. That's the Dark Phoenix form that we can activate once our Phoenix Force is actually full with this particular setup I'm running here. So it looks incredible, and it done a ton of damage, as you can see by how quickly it took down Dr. Octopus there. But that was a nice fun video. It's good to showcase skills like this that are really over the top. This is quite similar to my Storm video. I enjoyed doing that for her over the top skills, but that's another one done. We're getting through them, and if you get any suggestions for the next hero you would like me to cover, please do let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all again soon.